All right. Hello, everyone.
And welcome back.
to the show, where we talk about everything and everywhere.
No.
Okay.
Did you fuck it up again?
Yeah.
Where we talk about everything, everywhere, with anyone, at any time.
With you. As you can see, today's everywhere part is basically in our bedroom because we want to talk about the reality of Bali, and then we want to show you. We want to do this in the bedroom because this is actually where most people live in.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like not in our bedroom, but most people's living conditions are like this.
People are going
Simple.
to turn on this video and be like, whoa, what's
Whoa. Yeah, there are like 1,000 people in the bathroom. No.
Anyways, let's get on to topic here. I recently been checking out some Bali YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Or they turn up on my feed and I just get into a deep hole
Only
as one
girls
does.
checking those videos because I haven't watched any Bali video for a year already, I feel.
I think I was interested, so I actually just typed
Yeah.
in Bali, and then I sorted it by upload time. So it's
Okay.
like the newest ones,
Yeah.
and then obviously there's some random shorts and stuff. So I scrolled down, and I got to the long videos, and what I really realized is that a lot of people are, in a sense, trashing Bali now, or talking about the negative sides of Bali, or trying to tell the truth about Bali.
Yeah.
Where back when we arrived in 2022, right?
Yeah.
And before COVID, there were so many videos about why Bali is so great, why you should come to Bali.
Yeah.
And now it's done like a complete turn, and now people are talking about more of the truths. And I don't know if it's more for the views or if it's clickbaity, but I did watch one, and the girl had some really good points. She was just naming the general stuff that goes on here, and I think it's stuff that we've gotten used to. She was mentioning the naughty tourists. She was mentioning like the price range like going up, how it's
Yeah.
becoming more expensive. She was mentioning the scams. She was mentioning the tourist tax and everything like that. So basically, we've been here pretty long termish, right? We've
Yeah.
been here for almost 2 years now. So I thought we could just talk about it. Do you think Bali is still heaven?
Look, let's be honest with everybody here because now we're literally talking in a very objective sense.
Yeah.
So Bali is heaven in many sense, and Bali is not heaven in many sense as well. I remember when we came here because we came here from China. I think we in a lot of conversations we actually talked. I actually said that China actually freaks me out because everybody's so busy. Everybody is always on their phones. Everybody's always rushing into some other places, and people just look a little bit more stressed and depressed in many ways. When we came here, I still remember I actually posted on Instagram. I feel the first day we arrived and we were just eating some random sushi at Linlin's at the restaurant. It's not even a sushi restaurant, and I feel so emotional. I feel so alive. And I feel in that sense, yes. And in the beginning, we were actually living right by the sea.
Yeah.
And then can you imagine coming from a very stressful and productive place to this, and then your life literally turned 180 degrees completely.
Yeah.
However, back then, because the borders were actually closed, crimes actually were actually a little bit more. There's a lot of girls. They say that, oh, I got like robbed this and then.
Yeah. It was a
yeah.
thing back then, though. I mean, back in 2022.
During COVID.
Yeah, it was kind of as COVID was ending and the borders were like semi-open. So like they
Yeah.
were still closed, but you could find a way to get in with a business visa.
Yeah.
And then there was kind of a surge of crime, but then it kind of just like settled out. And now it's
Along with the opening of the border.
yeah, but
right?
now there's like apparently it's coming back.
Oh,
So
I
that's
don't
something
even know
I've been
that, actually.
reading like posts about it on Facebook, and
Yeah.
there's a couple of videos also on YouTube about it, where girls are getting their necklaces once again torn off their necks and like getting their bags taken from them. But most of the time, it is once again late at night after the club, so they know that you're an easy target.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't happen to everyone. Like I've been here for 2 years, or we've been here for 2 years, and it hasn't happened to us. But we do also take the precautions of just making sure that your stuff is not reachable.
Yeah. And also, a lot of times when you're out late, I always say, if you need me, I'll come and pick you up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you should actually take precautions to prevent it.
Yeah.
Because once it happens to you, then your valuables might be gone. And also, it might give you a very big shock because a lot of you guys maybe come from a very safe country. You come here, all of a sudden, this kind of things happen to you, which is kind of normal for some people coming from other countries, right? And then it might give you a very bad experience, and then you start thinking about everything about a body is bad.
Yeah.
Right.
I do think also, like, now that when you were saying that, makes me think about where am I from, and like, is it just because I felt really safe in China? So I'm from South Africa,
Yeah.
and people, especially tourists, tend to be really scared of going to South Africa. And I have this very like, if you look after your belongings, you'll be fine,
Yeah.
and don't put yourself as a target. Like, don't like walk the streets at 3 a.m. at night and like look scared, because then there's a chance that you are like basically putting a flag on you saying, hey, I'm a
Yeah.
target. But that being said, I moved to China, and I feel China is extremely safe.
Extremely. I agree.
I did get my phone stolen in the
Yeah.
club in China, but I'm almost like 98% sure that it was a foreigner.
Yeah.
But even that like I was there for 5 years and only one incident. I walked the streets at 3 a.m. in the morning to a friend's house so we could catch a train, and it like I didn't feel once at all unsafe. Like
Yeah.
it is very safe for female travelers, for anything. But that, like here, I also never really feel unsafe. There is catcalling from like local guys. Sometimes even if you go on an early run, like at 5 or 6 a.m., sometimes there's people coming home from the club and you'll get like guys catcalling you from the scooter. But I don't really take this as a threat of feeling unsafe. It's just annoying and
Yeah.
like, did your mother not teach you how to be behaved?
And also the thing is, right, to be fair, I always say there are assholes or bad characters everywhere.
Yes.
However, we've been hosting meetups. Like we literally, I would say, we interact with thousands of people every month. I've never felt unsafe. Only once or twice we came across these characters. I would feel a little bit how do you
Cautious?
say it? Yeah, I would be cautious, and
Yeah.
I feel a little bit what's the word, creepy.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's not like I've never met anybody that is outrageously creepy.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are some. Well, back then there's a story that there's a girl coming from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
She came to Bali, and then there's a creepy dude followed her here as well. And then the creepy dude was kind of like following her around.
Is that the
and
one? Is that the one on Instagram? The like celebrity one?
I don't know if she's a celebrity. I think it's Facebook or Instagram. I don't know. But apparently a lot of people know. I might be telling it in a very wrong sense.
I think I know the one you're talking about. So I don't know where she's from, but she was living here, and this guy had like found her, and he came here,
Oh.
and then he was following her around and like sending her emails like of pictures of suitcases that he's gonna steal her and put her in a suitcase
Yeah,
and take her
yeah,
home.
I think that's
but
the one.
that was from a foreigner. That wasn't from a local guy.
Yeah.
Like that. So it's like there's bad people from everywhere, and there's also tons of good people from everywhere. So my point with like bringing up the South Africa and China thing as well was that I think it's because I came from China. Now when I hear these stories, I'm like, whoa, bro, that's crazy. But I mean, if you told me it's happening
Yeah.
in like America or in Canada or something, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's pretty shitty. But I mean,
Yeah.
shit happens, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think a month ago, a friend of ours, she was in a bar in Chengdu, and it was like super, super crowded, and it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. And another girl came up to her and was like, hey, can you help me? My phone's been stolen. So she was like, yeah, sure. So they walked to the bar to go ask the bar if like anybody picked up a phone and handed it in. And then the bar said like, no, whatever. And the girl, my friend, said it felt a bit weird. Like maybe they did find it, but you can't really be
Yeah.
like, hey, tell me.
Yeah.
And they then walked out of the bar, and out of the bar there was a massive crowd. And then the other girl's phone got stolen too. She had like one of those like phone strings on with the phone cover.
Yeah.
And it got legitimately taken out of the phone cover. So then they both were sitting there with no phones. And when she told me that, because it was like a month ago, I was like, holy cow, is those things still happening? Like, but I feel,
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel that people are portraying Bali to be like it's not heaven,
Yeah.
but bad things happen everywhere.
And also the thing is, right, I just don't understand why people have to make the world black and white, as
Yeah.
simple as that. I think in the last video back then when we were in Armen, we were talking about those influencers. Through these influencers lenses, everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. There's no shitty photos.
Yeah.
There's no shitty poses. Their lives are the most glorious lives ever. However, if anything happened to them, and then all of a sudden they might just turn on this thing, this place, or these people, and then just like, oh, they're shit. There's nothing good about them. I mean, come on. Even a lot of times, a lot of people actually they do stupid shit because they're not aware of.
Yeah.
And then people need some time to actually grow up because experiences actually really shape us. I think the same thing as applies to a place as well.
Yeah.
These days, first of all, I really don't like the constructions, and these days Bali is developing so fast. And even now, when we were driving, I think last week or last month, when we were driving on the road, majority of the roads in Canggu, which is the foreigner central, they are doing the new sewage system.
Yeah.
And then there's dust everywhere. But which also tells you that they're actually improving
Yeah.
everything here in Bali.
Yeah.
So, when foreigners come, and also the thing is, right, when people come to Bali, it is literally international. We were actually talking that a lot of our meetups, we at least we have people from 10 countries. People from at least 10 countries. So every meetup is an international meetup.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if people coming from all the backgrounds and they have different they have different standards
And different views.
environments back
Yeah.
home, and then of course their environments shape them. They come here, if they are being good, they're good in their own ways. If they're being bad, they are being bad in their own ways as well.
I think it goes with everything here. It's like making
Yeah.
friends and dating. Like, it is going to be hard. And even your views. Like, if I
Yeah.
believe that you should wear sunblock, there's some people from Europe that are like, I don't need to wear sunblock. I never wore sunblock before, like when I was back home, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it can be in small things and in really big things. We're like a massive pot here in Bali of
Yeah.
a really big mix of countries, first of all, and then languages, like the language barrier,
Yeah.
and then views upon that, and then beliefs,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, even if I met another South African, he might have been brought up differently to me,
Yeah.
which means he has different views as well. So we're just like a massive stew here
And
in
also
Bali.
to
Like,
be-
there's no
yeah.
ways that everyone is going to agree on a lot
Yeah.
of things.
And also, to be honest with you, I really feel we are in a foreign country.
Yeah.
So if you decide to come here, at least to understand what the local people are like, because show some respect.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you don't like this place, then just don't be here. And also, a lot of times, if the crimes happen, then it's kind of like, I don't know, at least like 1 in 1,000 chances.
Yeah.
However, there are also people coming here. They ruin the reputation of us as well, and then
For sure.
they're basically kind of like, creating fights. For example, I still remember it's really fucking disgusting. Actually, the woman on the back of
yeah.
on the back of the guy's bike and was like fingering herself or something.
No, she basically, the guy pulled over and he was talking to a local guy. I think it was like taxi or something.
Yeah.
And then basically it got a bit heated and she just went like, she was wearing a dress and no underwear. She just went like this and she was like,
Yeah.
like she wasn't actually fingering herself, but she was legitimately just like saying like F you. But like
All right.
her whole hoo-ha was out. Like,
Yeah. You see, here's the thing. A lot of people, they come here and then they feel like they're away from home. They can do whatever the fuck they want. So we have these characters. I do think this kind of a behavior she would never do back in the home country. Or like there's very low chances that she would do that
Yeah.
back home.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of like, Bali is a place for people to come and release themselves and then just like chase after whatever the wild desires they have. I don't like that part at all, to be honest with you.
And it makes us like expats look really bad.
Yeah.
And it makes the locals look at us kind of in this same way. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's just a foreigner. Like, no, that's like, so sometimes I always make a point to
Yeah.
tell the people that like, no, I live here. Like, I live just near Canggu.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even want to like mention Canggu because then they're like, oh, Canggu people.
One of them,
Like,
you
one
know,
of them.
one of them.
But yeah, I think Bali still has its heaven.
Yeah.
And we have a friend of ours that always says, like, please drive at least 2 kilometers further, like away from the sea, and just go and see what it's like.
Yeah.
Like, go and see other parts of the island that are not popular.
Yeah.
You know, like Cinnamon. It is more popular, like people do go there, but go and spend like a couple of days there. Go into like another part of Ubud. Like,
Yeah.
don't go into the tourist traps because actually the tourist traps are there particularly for tourists, you know, like
Yes.
it's in the name.
Yes.
But that's why you pay more. Like, it'll be like 50K for a local and it'll be 150K for the expats.
Yeah.
There's really nothing that special to see
Yeah.
because they've put it there for tourists to go see.
Yeah.
I would suggest take your bike and just drive, get lost, keep going, eat some local food,
Yeah.
try and speak to people even though there's a language barrier. Immerse
Or
yourself.
interact with them.
Yeah.
Do whatever you need to do to actually just like, I don't know, spend some time, to have some interactions with them, because that actually goes a long way. Mm-hmm. Like before I came here, I was actually watching the Anthony Bourdain video about Bali.
Yeah.
And Bourdain was like saying something about the W hotel.
Yeah.
And he's like, good luck with this, right? And so in our first 3 months living in Bali, we were actually living right next to the W hotel. Every time I walk on the beach and passing the hotels, like Bourdain was here. But also, the reason why I like Bourdain, I think a lot of people like Bourdain, is that he is actually, he doesn't give a fuck. He will just tell you
Exactly
if it's
how it
good,
is, yeah.
and it is good. If it's bad, it's bad. Which is actually what we're trying to do as well.
And it
We
just-
still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
But at least we want to put the messages out. Basically, well, we're actually having a discussion, but I feel we are actually having a lot of discussions with everybody in our community.
Yeah.
And pretty much a lot of people agree. So it's like, at everywhere is good and bad. And then when you are good, you will find a group of people that are good as well, because energy really attracts the same kind of energy.
Yeah.
So
I do also think that it's like, my example here is that you can do 10 good things and you do one bad thing, and people will remember you for that.
By the way, that is actually, it is human nature.
It is.
There's nothing wrong.
Didn't
I'll actually,
know.
I'll actually tell you an example, right?
Okay, yes.
For the longest time, I actually know that Johannesburg is very tough. I know that. And then Dodo, last time when he was here, he told me that when he was in Johannesburg, there was like 10 to 20 guys jumped on him, and then there were knives. They put knives on his neck and grabbed his everything that he had.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would never go there. It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't lying.
Yeah,
right.
of
So my
course.
point is that when you hear this kind of stories, we are all human beings. We all can relate to each other actually
Yeah.
on different levels. So you will get scared. But for me, it's like, okay, what are the other stories? So if you decide to go somewhere, please just do your research. I think the scary ones are, you should be, should teach you how to be cautious, and the good ones should teach you how to explore even more.
What you said there is perfect, and it's what I say exactly the same about South Africa.
I always say perfect things. Yeah.
But to be cautious, like
Yeah.
this is the main thing. Like, don't be overcautious. Don't worry and like look behind you, like, oh, which person
Yeah.
is driving their bike behind me? Are they going to steal my necklace? Just be safe. You
Yeah.
know, like be safe, be cautious, be alert that these things are happening.
Yeah.
Don't go out drinking till 3 a.m. and then think that you can just hitch a ride with any random guy who says bike.
Yeah.
Like, I feel actually we could probably speak for hours on this type of stuff with legitimate facts. And maybe if you guys want to see more, we can make more. Or
Yeah.
if you have questions, pop them down below. Because after living here for 2 years, I feel like you really do learn a lot of stuff and can give a lot of advice. But yeah, main thing is be cautious
Yeah.
and always do your due diligence. It's like there's a lot of videos on Instagram and stuff like that about the scams with cash, like when you go and
Okay.
exchange money.
Yeah.
So you give in like $100 and they say, okay, I'll give you 2 million.
Yeah.
And then because it's a lot of notes, it's 100K a
Yeah.
pop, then they will take 1 or 2 notes.
Yeah.
And you go back and forth counting it. Like there is no way really to avoid this. The only way is to go to money exchanges that are higher ranked,
Yeah.
But if for some reason you find yourself in a lower ranked one or even the higher ranked one doing it, the best is just to double check it and make sure that you're the last person to check it. There's small things like this that you have to do.
Yeah. So earlier when we were actually talking about this, you were telling me that because I didn't even handle the money. So when we went to Thailand, when you went to exchange the money, they gave you a little bit more than you expected, right?
Well, so on their rate said one thing, and then when they gave me the money it was actually more.
Okay.
And then he said, oh no, the rate just changed, which means that they are like really up to date.
Okay.
So, I mean, I still checked it, and it is overwhelming because you've gone from one currency that you're used to,
Yeah,
and then you
for sure.
change it to another one, and now the notes look different, and I'm like, is this a 20 or is this a 2000? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what this is.
And also the thing is, for me, we've been here for like more than a year. We were using only one bank card.
Yeah.
And then we were always drawing cash directly from the card. And because now you can actually directly draw cash with conversion rate, the up-to-date conversion rate from most banks. And it is actually very, very accurate and very easy. And ATMs are pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you have Visa or MasterCard, I really think that is the way to go. So yeah, use that as the prioritized option.
Yeah.
And if you really don't have another choice, then go to the money exchange. But yeah, that's a very specific.
I think it's very small. Those are very small like topics within a topic.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think with this whole topic that we're talking about, like, is Bali heaven? Yes, Bali still has its massive piece of heaven.
Yeah.
You just need to
Because
exclude.
Bali is big.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Bali
you
is
need to
really
exclude
big.
yourself out of Kuta.
Yeah.
And like the main road of Canggu, tour around a bit, find
Yeah.
things that you like to do, get a bike, drive around. If you don't have a bike, join some tours. Like, I think even if you join a tour and you get to see more of Bali, you're probably gonna be spending your money better than like
Yes.
staying for 2 weeks in Canggu and just
Yeah.
spending it on drinking and going the same thing like Black Sand Sandbar, all of those things.
Yeah.
Just know that Bali is no longer, it's not a scam, and it's also not heaven. It is somewhere in between. There are scams and there is heaven.
It really is just that people don't have a legitimate place to actually share information and then get information. This we've been actually working really hard. I was actually trying to figure out the best way to actually build a platform that actually people can share information and then get rewarded from it, and other people can, through likes or dislikes, can judge the legitimacy
Yeah.
of the information.
Yeah.
It will be done soon, but it takes some time to do it.
Yeah.
But I really feel once there are legitimate information being shared with people, this kind of a confusion or disappointment or whatever will be avoided for a lot of people. So
I guess the moral of the story, or the
do
video,
your fucking homework.
well, that one, and don't believe everything you see on social
Yeah.
media, because half the time people are doing it for views.
Yes.
One, they're posting the heaven side for views, and two, posting the negative side
Yeah.
for views as well. Sometimes, yes, of course, there are people in the middle that are trying to tell the truth or show the real shit like us, but do your homework, watch multiple videos, don't just watch one and think that's Bali.
Yeah.
But other than that, if you enjoy this video,
Give
watch
us
the
a
next
li-
one. Don't
Yeah.
do that lame stuff.
No, give us a like, encourage us, because yeah, we need it actually. We just got back to the routine. We really want to produce more, and if you have any questions or suggestions or comments, just put it down below, and we'll
So-
see you in the next one.
So cliche.
Yeah, it is.
You're like
Yeah.
and subscribe.
Like and
Do all of
subscribe.
that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
All right,
See
next
you in the
one.
next one.